All right, let's do this. It's my daily recap for Wednesday, November 19th, and I got upset. I'm not going to lie. I had to walk away from the charts. It's not usually the case. I got, I got, I got cranky, and as you can see, it's a little bit red, and it's not why. The little bit red is not a big deal. My normal risk on this account should be about $250 per trade, and I took a small loss in relation to that. But let me explain why I was really cranky today, and maybe you can guess. Now, well, actually, you probably can't guess because you don't know the whole history. But anyways, let's dive in. So, pull up my questions list. What happened? Question one, what happened today? So today, I took a long position and got stop hunted. I was right in the overall direction and bias and timing. I just got stop hunted. And I got slipped a little bit too on my stop loss. Two, did the market follow your expectations? Yes, it did. This morning I was looking for longs, and we came down into my level, formed an SMT, and price started distributing towards buy-side liquidity. I entered a trade. So at least for the part of the session that I was around, which was only about 20 minutes, I was right with my expectations on where I wanted to see the market displaced to. So that's awesome. I'll take that. Three, what was the play-by-play analysis of today? So today, here's the 9:30 open. Price came down into the level after the open and started aggressively distributing towards buy side. I saw this 2-minute inversion fair value gap because I didn't see anything normally on the 1 minute, which is where I typically trade. But I saw that inversion, and on the next candle at 9:36, I ended up market ordering in. Not certain I was going to get a retest of this fair value gap. That's kind of been a pattern I've seen lately, as price this whole week has just been running without retesting the gap. And then on the very next candle, there was a massive stop hunt. You can see it took me out here and then slipped quite bad, actually, because I think I had like $80 in risk on this trade, super small. And if it slipped to 120, that's obviously $40. That's 50% more risk than I had put on the trade. So I'm thankful it wasn't a full-size trade, because then that would have sucked a little bit. But I suppose that's really the play-by-play analysis. And question four, what was the play of the day? I'm not sure, and I'm gonna skip this question because I really didn't sit around for the rest of the day to check out what was the best play. In hindsight, it looks like this might have been it, actually. So I'm gonna adjust my answer. Just quickly looking at the chart, this was the play of the day somewhere in here. Number five, did a profitable trader show up today? Yes, I stepped into the charts. I had done all my mindset and my psychology work. I was feeling pretty okay and ready to, accept about, at least I thought, anything that was going to happen today. So I showed up as a profitable trader, and I'm happy about that. That's a win. Six, did this affect how I saw and acted on the markets? Yes, because something happened that actually triggered emotion in me, and I was collected enough to log out and walk away. And I think that was a win. So yeah, it did help. Question seven, was today a winning day? Rules followed. I would say 90%. Let's call it 90% of my rules were followed. I don't really have a rule for going up to the 2-minute chart, so there's kind of, that was a question. I typically trade the 1 minute. So on one hand, I can see myself considering that a little bit of FOMO, like, oh, here's the move, I know where it's going. It's not giving me my model, but I also know price is fractal, so I don't really have a rule against going up in time frames. Obviously, I'm not going to go to like a 5-minute or 15-minute, but a 2-minute, I don't know. SOP followed, so standard operating procedure, which is just my checklist. Did the trade meet all of my criteria, my criteria for doing business? One, was it at a level for doing business? Yes. Was it time for doing a business? Yes. Was there confirmation, SMT, targets, and my model? Yes. So 100% on following my standard operating procedure. And in terms of emotion and psychology, well, I'm going to give myself 100% on that today too. Not because I didn't experience emotion. I expect to experience emotion trading. But because I got so mad and walked away, I think that was really where I'm going to give myself credit on the day. I followed my rules. I got stopped out for a variety of reasons beyond this trade. It made me super upset, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And I still didn't click the button after. So today's grade, I'm going to give myself an A overall. All right, number 8, was today a profitable day? No. Look at the red. 9, would you take the trade again? Ooh, really good question. Gosh, let's look at this. So here in this setup, I mean, it had all the criteria. I was on the money. Maybe it wasn't quite perfect. Like, there's too many candles through here. So here's a bit of a consolidation. So really, maybe, I think the answer is maybe I would take the trade again. Gosh. And only because of what I've recently discovered about my model and about through looking at all of my losses. When I noticed my model started to form any sort of consolidation, it was less probable. And here, now looking back at it, here's some bit of consolidation. So I'll give it a maybe. It's not the most perfect setup, but it met all the criteria and it was clean enough. So it was really, I guess, on the cusp of clean enough. And in the moment, I decided that it was. But would I take it again? Maybe. 10, what notable emotions did you feel? So this is kind of where I can talk about why I got so upset today. And maybe some of you have had this experience too, maybe not. But I don't know what's going on lately. I feel like I can't get anything right, and just luck is not on my side. And by this, I mean, like, if I enter a trade and maybe it's starting to not look good and consolidate, and I'm just like, oh, I don't want to sit through this, and I close it at break even. If I do that, it's going to be a winner, right? If I decide to not close the trade and let it play out, it's going to be a loser. And this has been true both live trading and in my back testing that I do in the afternoon sessions. Like in my back testing session yesterday, and then of course this here today, that's 3 times I've been stopped out only for price to run my way. And in the other cases, it was all by like a tick or two. This was a little bit more of like a stop hunt. Like you're like, I wouldn't have put my stop that far down any which way. So I can palate this a little bit more, but just after the luck I've been having where it's like ugly models are banging and hitting, price hasn't been, and so then I'm like, oh man, I didn't take that and I missed out. Or maybe my model's there that just doesn't give me an entry. Like this whole week, candles have been closing way above where I want to get into the trade, not doing a retest and ripping without me. So here I get to watch all week long, I've watched my model play out without me. And then yeah, so really just feeling frustrated. And this maybe more so makes me feel like I'm okay with the challenge and I can persevere through lots. But in terms of like what makes me feel like wanting to give up trading is feeling like I just don't have the luck, because I don't know how to control luck. You know, if it's always the opposite of what I do, how do you do anything about that? You know, not I don't want to use the hyperbole always, just the last month has been anything I do, I feel like it's the opposite should be done. If I don't trade, I should trade. If I trade, I shouldn't trade. Like in this case, I could have done about anything else, literally. You know, there was a 1 minute, less than that, probably a 15-second window where this stop hunted. I could have done anything else today within this time period I was trading and been on sides and profitable. So that's the big thing I'm struggling with today. And for whatever reason, it just hit me when this happened. Like I was fine yesterday. You know, I took losses in the afternoon back testing, and I was super just curious about it, just looking at it from a scientific, inquisitive perspective. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gathering data here. Like I studied a lot of my losses from this year already, so I'm like gathering data, and I'm in this inquisitive mode of like I'm trying to perfect the process and trying to learn. But when this happened, I just felt so unlucky. And luck is certainly a part of the game. But when I start adding up like, oh, well, these are, really A trades are better I'm taking for the, like it just, that feels hopeless. I don't know how to change luck. I can change, technicals. I can change a strategy. I can change markets. I can change, so many other things. But especially when you're like, when you're on sides and right, but you still get fucked. That's what's bugging me so much is like, it doesn't matter. It's like if I placed my stop loss here, I would get stop hunted here. That's how it feels. So I guess I'm going to be done ranting about that. But it's a notable thing. And I actually stepped away from the charts. Took a few hours. I did my kickboxing, and I finally came back to the charts here just now after a few hours of a break. I still don't feel stoked. I'm going to figure this out before I do any back testing or more trading. But yeah, 11, what went well today? What went well today? The best thing was I walked away. That was really good. Last time I had I don't even want, I'm going to keep this video short. I'm not going to go there. Question 12. What would I like to improve from today? I don't know. This wasn't the perfect A+ model, but I was also trying to use discernment really quickly, and I kind of didn't even catch this consolidation right here. So I don't know. I'm not certain I have any improvements from today. Obviously, to figure out and fix why I feel so unlucky lately, I think that, but how do you fix that? Like I was just kind of saying, how do you improve upon that? I don't know. All right, so question 13, final comments. No, I guess just a note for myself, this was the day before FOMC, or NFP, which is it? NFP's tomorrow. So I was expecting a little bit of trickery. I wasn't expecting this though. But that's all. Nothing I can do other than just put one foot in front of the other and show up for another day tomorrow.